Welcome back to Galaxy Recaps. Today we'll be diving into an action sci-fi thriller titled 65. Enjoy the recap. The movie kicks off with a cosmic adventure as we zoom through a mesmerizing nebula and land on the planet Samaris. Here, we meet our main character, Mills, relaxing with his wife while watching their daughter, Naveen, play on the beach. Naveen's struggling to whistle, so Mills steps in to teach her his expert technique. They're having a great time laughing together, until the scene shifts to a spaceship hurtling through the stars. Mills, now our daring pilot, is on a 2-year mission to find a cure for Naveen's illness. However, his journey takes a dangerous turn when he encounters an asteroid belt. Predictably, the ship gets pummeled by asteroid debris, resulting in a rough crash landing on a mysterious planet, Earth. Mills crashes into a swamp and finds himself the sole survivor, with other passengers tragically lost in the chaos. He sends out a distress signal and starts exploring this unknown world, soon discovering the air is breathable. Shortly after, he finds a young girl in cryostasis who has miraculously survived the crash. As he carries her to safety, he stumbles upon a massive clawed footprint in the mud. A chilling revelation. The story then takes a surprising twist, revealing that 65 million years ago, there was a mysterious visitor on Earth. Determined to save the girl, Mills wakes up the next day, ready for action. He tries using the ship's computer to locate the other half of the vessel but comes up empty. Undeterred, Mills ventures out to explore only to stumble upon some massive bones, indicating the presence of gigantic predators. During his exploration, he's caught off guard and blasted by a hot geyser. After recovering from his encounter, Mills spots something shiny in the distance. It's the other half of the ship, perched on a distant mountain. Just as he begins to plot his next move, he spots a T-Rex in the distance but is ambushed by a smaller dinosaur. After a fierce struggle, Mills manages to take it down with his gun, ensuring it's dead with repeated strikes. However, he soon hears strange noises coming from the woods and discovers that Koa, the girl, has wandered off. Mills chases after Koa, and they both tumble down a ledge, landing right next to a huge dead dinosaur. The trees start shaking, signaling the approach of an even bigger beast. Mills grabs Koa and makes a frantic dash back to the safety of the ship. He tends to Koa's wounds but faces a language barrier since the ship's translator is broken. Mills gets creative, using red powder to draw the mountain on a tablet, explaining that's where they need to go to escape. Koa draws her parents and mentions family, prompting Mills to lie, saying her family is waiting on the mountain too. Mills sends out another SOS, informing others that he has found a survivor. Meanwhile, Koa discovers recordings of Naveen. Through these recordings, we learn that Naveen's illness worsened during the first year of travel, landing her in the hospital. Her messages to Mills start off happy but gradually become filled with anger due to his absence. Mills catches Koa watching the tapes, quickly shuts them off, and decides it's time to leave. With supplies in hand, Mills and Koa embark on a treacherous journey to the mountaintop, navigating through the wild while keeping quiet to avoid attracting hungry predators. As they help each other along the way, they grow closer. Koa spots something glowing red in the sky but keeps it to herself. Eventually, she gets bored and starts pelting Mills with berries she found. Mills scans the berries, reveals they're poisonous, and tells Koa to stop. Mills then has a close encounter with a gigantic bug. When he squishes it, his hand gets covered in sticky goo. He tries to wipe it off on a tree but ends up with bark stuck to his hand, much to Koa's amusement. Mills playfully chases Koa with his messy hand, but their fun is cut short when a small tree falls nearby. They hear strange noises and find a little dinosaur trapped in a pit of sticky goo. Koa has a big heart, and she runs to help the trapped dinosaur, despite Mills thinking it's too risky. Reluctantly, he assists her in the rescue. Unfortunately, the freed dinosaur doesn't get far before it's attacked and killed by a pack of predators. Mills pulls Koa into hiding to spare her from witnessing the gruesome scene, but she understands what's happening and can't help but cry. With heavy hearts, Mills and Koa continue their journey, stopping by a waterfall to clean up and refill their water bottles. Mills worries about the state of his stomach wound, but seeing Koa's resilience reminds him of Naveen, giving him the strength to press on. Koa finds some beautiful flowers and pesters Mills until he lets her put one in his hair. When Mills' scanner loses track of the mountain, he climbs a tree for a better view. But, as expected, things don't go as planned. A bug lands on his hand, and in his attempt to shake it off, he breaks a branch and falls, dislocating his arm. While Koa helps Mills push his arm against a tree to set it back in place, their noise attracts a group of dinosaurs. Mills tells Koa to run while he deals with the dinosaur menace. He activates some small bombs, taking out half the dinosaurs, but the survivors continue to attack him. He shoots them one by one. Meanwhile, Koa faces her own problems with flying dinosaurs closing in. She tries to hide, but the earlier dinosaurs find her. Just when all hope seems lost, Mills shows up and saves the day. But wait, a sneaky dinosaur snatches Koa with its tail and drags her away. Mills springs into action, chasing them down and scaring off the dinosaur with a well-placed shot. Now, Koa is too frightened to continue. Mills sits down, giving her some much-needed space. As darkness falls, Mills tries whistling like he used to for Naveen, hoping to soothe Koa's fears. The trick works, and Koa whistles back using her family's technique. They agree to continue their journey. After much trekking, they find a cave to rest in for the night. Mills sets up sensors to alert them of any danger and uses his scanner to check the sky, finally noticing a nearby meteorite. It's small, so he isn't worried. Koa reveals she has brought one of Naveen's tapes with her. Although Mills is initially upset, he plays the tape and finds comfort in hearing Naveen's voice. As Mills tries to sleep, memories of the day he learned Naveen had died in the hospital haunt him, and he breaks down in tears. Later that night, the sensors wake Mills, warning of danger. He finds a bug has crawled into Koa's mouth and quickly kills it, allowing her to cough up the remains. Just then, the sensors go haywire and a massive dinosaur appears outside the cave. Mills fires a few shots and decides they need to run. After grabbing Koa, he escapes through a small hole at the back of the cave. While searching for a way out, they don't realize a smaller dinosaur is stalking them. After a lot of walking and squeezing through tight spaces, they hit a dead end. Mills tries to dig through a small gap between rocks but makes little progress. Koa gets upset and insists they keep going for the sake of her family. Mills tries to tell her they're dead, but she doesn't understand. Suddenly, Mills gets an idea. He uses bombs to widen the hole for Koa to crawl through, handing her the rest of the explosives for safety. Koa makes it through and signals it's safe, but when Mills tries to follow, the hole collapses, cutting off contact with Koa. Desperate and furious, Mills hears the dinosaur approaching and races back to the previous cave. He uses his scanner to track the creature's movements. When the dinosaur lunges at Mills, he's ready, firing his gun. However, the dino knocks the weapon from his grasp and bites his arm. Mills fights back, using his scanner to emit a high-pitched screech that disorients the creature. Seizing the opportunity, Mills grabs his gun and finishes off the dinosaur. Meanwhile, Koa, now on her own, explores the forest and creates a makeshift weapon using a large bone, poison berries, and a leaf. Mills escapes the cave and discovers a massive meteorite is hurtling toward the planet, threatening a catastrophic extinction event. Panicked, Mills searches for Koa, hearing her scream as a dinosaur closes in. Koa hides inside a tree trunk while Mills rushes to help her, but he stumbles and falls into quicksand. As he sinks, he calls out to Koa, who bravely faces the dinosaur by tossing bombs at it, killing the creature. With the danger gone, Koa helps Mills out of the quicksand, and they share a heartfelt hug. Mills quickly explains the meteorite situation to Koa, and they race against time to cover the last few miles of their journey. Eventually, they reach the base of the mountain. Koa climbs up first, securing the rope to support Mills' weight as he follows. Together, they find the other half of the ship, and Mills confirms a rescue vessel is on its way. However, Koa's anger boils over when she discovers her family's destroyed cryotanks. Mills shares his heartache about losing his daughter Naveen and vows not to let it happen again. Overcome with emotion, Koa hugs Mills as they share a tender moment. But there's no time for tears. Smaller meteorite fragments start raining down on Earth, forcing Mills and Koa to race to the emergency pod. Just as Mills is about to launch it, a meteorite strikes the ship, sending the pod tumbling down the mountain and knocking them both unconscious. As Koa wakes up, she frantically tries to launch the pod, but the computer says it's a no-go in its current position. Things get even crazier when a massive dinosaur shows up and starts attacking the pod. With the gun lying on the ground, Mills risks it all by leaving the pod to retrieve the weapon, only to find that it's not working. As a second dinosaur joins the fray, Mills manages to fix the gun while hiding behind a ship fragment. Surrounded and desperate, Koa uses the Naveen tape to create a hologram of Mills' daughter, tricking the beasts into attacking it. With tears in his eyes, Mills takes advantage of the distraction, taking down one dinosaur while the other continues to push the ship, trying to get to Koa. Mills wastes no time dealing with the second creature, ensuring both he and Koa are safe. Just when it seems the coast is clear and the pod is in the right position to launch, Mills is confronted by the dinosaur from the cave. It's back for round 2 and not going down without a fight. Mills leads the dino to the geysers, hoping a hot blast of water will do the trick, but it barely slows the beast down. Then, in the nick of time, Koa shows up and stabs it in the eye with the bone weapon she made earlier. The dinosaur stumbles onto another geyser, and this time it's a direct hit to the stomach, finishing it off for good. With the threat eliminated, Mills and Koa make it back to the pod and blast off just in time as the meteorite crashes into Earth, ending the age of the dinosaurs. As the pod hurtles through space towards their rescue vessel, Mills closes his eyes and imagines being reunited with Naveen. Koa, sensing his pain, holds his hand, offering comfort as they journey together towards an uncertain future. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.